So SAP, the performance related transaction codes in the SAP system here. So performance related transaction codes here. Okay. SAP performance related transaction codes here. So one is the ST01 is the transaction code. Tune summary ST01 is the transaction code here. If we go to the ST01 transaction code here, ST01 transaction code. So these are the not the tune summary, these are the system trace. ST01 is for the system trace here. System tracing functionality here. Suppose if any issues in the system, any performance issues, any issues in the system, here we have to enable the, so any performance issues in the system, we have to take the trace here. Suppose example, someone facing the authorization issue, kernel trace. Suppose any trace, if you want to enable it, you can enable the anything here. Then click on the trace, switch on the trace here. All right. Then you can ask user to produce the issue, then trace of the trace, just go for the analysis of the trace here. Just go for the analysis of the trace here. So here the trace will be generated here. The trace will be generated in this case here. In this case, the trace will be generated. The trace will be generated in the systems here. That is what we can check it out here. There is no records here. So trace enabling. So the existing logs in the work directory logs are SM21, ST22. Those logs are not enough. So to collect the trace, we have to go to the ST01 transaction code. We need to enable the trace here in ST01 is the transaction code here. ST01 here. Okay. So here we have to enable the transaction code. Here we have to enable the transaction code to check the trace is active or not. So those things we need to check it out here. Those things we need to check it out. Trace on and check, trace off, then analyze it. So check the errors and everything will be reported. We can observe it. Where is the exact issue here? But currently we don't have any errors here. So that's why it's not displaying anything in the here. So trace on, then wait for 1 hour, 2 hours, then trace off, then analysis. We can fix the issues here. Troubleshooting logs here. ST01 is the transaction code for the trace enabling, system trace enabling here. Okay, system trace here. So the next one is the ST02 tune summary. ST02 is for the tune summary here. Tune summary, SUMMARY, tune summary. Here we can see the buffers, so space, free space, availability. Tune summary, buffers, free space, availability, and hit ratio. So and hit ratio and SAP memory areas, all those things we can check it in the hit ratio and iteration, not the hit ratio. In which we can check in the ST02 transaction code here. In ST02 transaction code, we can check it out, all those things here. ST02 here. So just if you go to the ST02 transaction code here, 01 is for the tracing, enabling the tracing here. 02 is for the, so 02 is for the so system tune summary. 02 is for the tune summary here. In the tune summary, we can see the buffers related information. Buffers related information, we can see it in the tune summary here. So are you guys following here? Because most of the theoretical topics we are discussing here. If you are okay, I can stop it here. If you are getting confused or something, getting bored, I can stop it here. Are you guys okay?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because it's a pure theoretical topics we are discussing. So transaction code and theoretical topics we are discussing compared to the previous ones.
Sir,
Okay.
regarding ST02, oh, any threshold value, sir, we can.
I'm coming to that part. That's why before
Okay.
going to the topic, ST02, I'm asking everyone, are you guys are okay to continue?
Okay.
Because theoretical topics, right? That's why I'm cross-checking everyone. Okay, I will stop it here. ST02. I will explain ST02. I will stop it here since ST02 is the one of the big transaction code here. Here we can check the here we can check the all the buffers. Buffers means temporary storage area in the SAP level, all the buffers here, SAP level. These all are the buffers here. Program buffer, table buffer, field buffer, calendar buffer, initial record buffer, screen buffer, calendar buffer, OTR before. These all are the buffers here. Each buffer, the related like it ratio, how much allocated KB, how much space it is allocated, what is the free KB, and a percentage of the free percentage space. So any swaps are coming, all the information it will be showed here. So what is mean by swaps here? When the buffer does not have enough free space here, then swaps will come. Swaps will come to the in this place here. So overflow, swaps means overflow here. So buffers are when the buffers are having some issue here, so here we will get the some errors here, swaps we will get it out here. When the buffers are out of the free space, so then here you will get the swaps here. So normally per day 10,000 swaps are allowed, means up to 10,000 we are okay. If more than 10,000, if you double click it, you will get the history of the buffers here. Per day, how many entries are we are getting here? Per day, how many entries here? You can see in the 12th month here, CI buffer here, you can see. So 10,000 is crossing. See here, if the 10,000 is crossing means it's a red color. Per day, 10,000 are okay here. So 10,000 crossing here, so which means it's a dangerous value. It's a dangerous value here. So here we will come to know how many objects means data flow here. So what it exactly mean by means, so data overflow, you are fetching the data here. Whenever you restart it, then it will come to the zero status piece, which means whatever the occupied allocated KB, that will comes to the zero status here. That will come to the zero status here. So what does it mean by buffers here? How it will be helpful to the SAP during the performance here? Suppose SAP is the three-tier architecture that we know, everybody knows here, right? So this is the database here, DB. SAP, we have the buffers. In one side, we have the buffers actually, SAP. So program buffer, boxes here, some kind of boxes, some storage, some kind of boxes here. Program buffer, field buffer, CI buffer, calendar, initial records. So some kind of buffers are available here, SAP here. So whenever user query anything here, first it will go to the buffers. It will check the data here. In the buffers, you have the data or not. If yes, data is there, then it will give the response back to the user here. So response back to the user here. So which means you are hitting the buffer, you are pulling the data, then the buffer hit ratio should be come to the 99, 90, 95 plus. Always buffer hit ratio should be hit ratio. Hit ratio means hitting the buffers. So each and every request, first of all, it will hit the request, then pull the data, then give the response back to the user. Then that is called the hit ratio. Out of 100 requests, 95 requests should be hit the buffers. 5 requests will go to the database level. Then it will check the data here. Then it will pull the data, one copy of data here, it will keep it. Then it will send the response to the user, right? So that time there is a delay for getting the response from the SAP, right? Here it you have to go to the here it to database level, searching in the database in the data, giving the response back to the users here, giving the response back to the users here. That is called the buffers. hit ratio. That is called the buffers hit ratio here. Okay, so that is the buffers hit ratio thing we are checking here. Okay, so that is the one thing here. This is the buffers here. So normally, so suppose example, foreground buffer. Something is required in the foreground buffer. It will go and pick up the data in the foreground buffer. Then it will give the results. If it does not have, then it will go to the DB level. It will search and it will give the response back to the user. So here we can check it out here. In this way, the buffers will minimize the performance. The performance will be improved. If you have the more space, the performance will be improved for the buffers here. Why? Because instead of directly going to the database level, checking and giving the response here it will check in the here and it will give the response back to the users here. That is called the buffers here. Suppose example, I want to access something here. Okay, let's see here. First time I'm going to access the PA30. Okay, see here how much time it will take now. Just see, observe it here. So it is compiling, it is getting the data, HR data, and compiling. See here how much time it is taking here. Right? You got the data here. You got the data in the system here. Right? What is the response time? 14,313. Right? 14,000 response time. How much time is responded? Right? So now means why it is taking time means, first of all, it will check whether the same data available in the buffers or not. If not, then it will go to the DB level. Then it's from here to here, the response time is very high, right? So from here it is starting. If the data is there in the SAP level, here it will pull the data, then it will give the response back to the user. Means there is a short time of the response time here. If the data is there, here is not, here it is not there. Then here it is there. Then it will go to the here. It will pull the data. It will give the response back to the user. Suppose like again, I will execute the same transaction code here. Right? Then how fast we got the data now? Why initially now 891 milliseconds. Previously 14,000 milliseconds. Why? Why this much of time taken? First time. Then second time, why we have the response time is very lower? Anyone can jump in here. So why? Same transaction code I used here. The first time it's taken the very longer time. The second time it's a fraction of seconds. We got it here. Response time is changed here. Right? Why? Why means the first time it checked the data in the buffers. It checked the data in the buffers. So the data is not exist here. Then it will go to it went to the your database level. It fetched the data in the database level. Database level means again off. Then again time taking procedure here. Then pull the data here. It will keep the one copy of data again in the buffers. Then it will give the response back to the users here. It will give the response back to the users again here. So that's why it's taking the time. So let's check one more timelines here. So I'm like VL02. See here how much time it is taking. These are the functional related transaction codes.
So this transaction was not in the buffer, so it is fetching from database.
So yeah, the related results. So I will explain Telugu. Okay. So అందరూ తెలుగు ఓకే కదా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుందంటే డేటా అనేది ఫస్ట్ బఫర్లో చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది. డేటా ఉందా లేదా చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది. అరే నువ్వు ఇచ్చిన డేటా ఇక్కడ ఉంది అంటే ఎమ్మటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి నీకు రెస్పాన్స్ వస్తుంది. అంటే నీకు ఇక్కడ నుంచి రావటం మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ నుంచి తీసుకుంటుంది. అంటే టైం తగ్గిందా లేదా? తగ్గింది కదా, టైం తగ్గింది ఇక్కడ. సో లేదు డేటా ఇక్కడ లేదు బఫర్లో అంటే మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది, మళ్ళీ ఆ టైం దాకా మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళి డేటాబేస్లో చెక్ చేసుకొని డేటాబేస్లో డేటాను తీసుకొచ్చి మళ్ళీ ఒక కాపీ ఆఫ్ డేటా మళ్ళీ బఫర్లో పెట్టి మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ నుంచి మీకు రెస్పాన్స్ టైం ఇక్కడ రావాలంటే ఎంతసేపు పడుతుంది? చాలా పెద్ద ప్రొసెసర్ కదా, చాలా టైం పడుతుంది ఇక్కడ. సో అదే స్టిల్ see here, still I executed the one of the sales order transaction code, functional, very big transaction codes. It's not part of the our basis related sales related transaction codes. So just check here. See here, still it is compiling. Still it is compiling and trying to get the data here. So still it is not received the data. Still it is checking, right? Compiling. Still it is compiling. Then it is going to the database level. It will check. It will check. Then as soon as data received, then it will give the results to the buffer. It will store the one copy of data here. Then it will give the results to the user, saying that your transaction code is opened, something like that here. Here it's compiling. All the programs are getting compiled here. Here this is how much time it's taking, almost
ఈ టాస్క్ అని సార్ కంపైలింగ్ టాస్క్ అని వస్తుంది కదా.
ఇవేంటంటే బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసుకుంటుంది, ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్నిటిని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసుకుంటుంది అనమాట. సో చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది, ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ చెక్ చేసుకొని రిజల్ట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది, అది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది. దాని ప్రకారం రిజల్ట్ ఏమైనా వచ్చిందా లేదా, లేదంటే డేటాబేస్ లెవెల్ చేసుకొని మళ్ళీ మీకు చూపిస్తుంది అనమాట. అందుకని టైం పడుతుంది ఇది. సో చాలా టైం పడుతుంది, ఎందుకంటే చాలా పెద్ద ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ కోర్స్ అన్నీ సేల్స్. So finally we got the information saying that one screen we got it, right? Change the outbound delivery here. How much time? It's like 1,89,400, 1,89,000, like almost 1,90,000 milliseconds response time taken, right? First time to get the screen రావడానికి మనకి ఇంత టైం పట్టింది ఇది, right? VL02 transaction code. Now what I will do here, నెక్స్ట్ టైం కూడా మళ్ళీ అదే ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ కోడ్ని వాడతాను ఇక్కడ, VL02 హియర్. దెన్ వై సెకండ్ టైం ఇమ్మీడియట్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది అది?
బఫర్
అది. సో ఇక్కడ బఫర్స్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాయి? ఇట్ ఈస్ స్టోరింగ్ ద టెంపరరీ డేటా. ఇట్ ఈస్ స్టోరింగ్ ద టెంపరరీ స్టోరేజ్ డేటా. సో ఇట్స్ స్టోరింగ్ ద టెంపరరీ స్టోరేజ్ డేటా హియర్. సో దట్స్ వై buffers will helpful to the system performance issues. So if the buffers does not have the free space, then you will get the swaps here. So per day swaps are okay, 10,000 swaps are okay, but for more then we need to check with the whether any cleanup is required or we need to extend it. సో ఒక బకెట్ ఉంది, బకెట్ కెపాసిటీ వచ్చేసి 20 లీటర్స్. బకెట్ అనేది బఫరు. బకెట్లో మనం ఏం పోర్ చేస్తాం? వాటర్ని పోస్తాం. వాటర్ అనేది డేటా ఇక్కడ. సో బకెట్లో వాటర్ పోస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి 20 లీటర్స్ వరకు అయితే కెపాసిటీ నిండుతుంది. 20 లీటర్స్ దాటితే ఏమవుతుంది? ఓవర్ఫ్లో అవుతుందా కాదా? ఓవర్ఫ్లో అవుతుంది కదా. సేమ్ అదే విధంగా అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తాం? ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్న డేటాని, ఉన్న వాటర్ని తీసేసుకోవటమా, లేదా ఆ బకెట్ యొక్క కెపాసిటీని ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవటమా, రైట్? 20 to 30 liters. So right, we will do it same as like here also, right? So same కూడా మనం కూడా ఇక్కడ అదే చేస్తాం అనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద ST02 ట్యూన్ సమ్మరీ. ఓకే, బఫర్స్, ఇట్ రేషియో, స్పేస్. ఇట్ రేషియో ఏంటంటే అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 100 రిక్వెస్ట్లో 95 రిక్వెస్ట్ అనేది ఖచ్చితంగా బఫర్నే హిట్ చేయాలి. లేదు అన్ని రిక్వెస్ట్లు డేటాబేస్లోకి వెళ్తున్నాయి అంటే దెర్ ఈస్ ఏ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ ఇష్యూ ఇన్ యువర్ సిస్టమ్. సో అది అనమాట. సో వాటి యొక్క ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ని మనం ఇక్కడ ST02లో చూసుకుంటాం అనమాట. అండ్ సేమ్ టైం మెమోరీ ఏరియాస్ ఆల్సో. దిస్ ఇస్ సపరేట్ కాన్సెప్ట్. ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఇట్ SAP మెమోరీ ఏరియాస్. సో వీ హ్యావ్ హియర్ వీ కెన్ చెక్ ద మెమోరీ ఏరియాస్, పేజ్ మెమోరీ, ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ మెమోరీ, హీప్ మెమోరీ. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద కరెంట్ యూసేజ్, కరెంట్ అలొకేటెడ్, ఎంత అలొకేట్ చేశారు అనేది ఇక్కడ మనం చూసుకుంటాం అనమాట. సో మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ బఫర్స్ యొక్క రిప్లేషన్ ని మనం చూసుకుంటాం అనమాట. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ద ST02 tune summary. So like that we have the ST03, ST04, ST05, ST06, ST07, then DB01, DB02, DB03, like that they have many transaction codes to discuss. Okay, we'll go one by one. Okay, so up to here you can practice it for today.